I called the metal place, and it's gonna be roughly 50, maybe $100 to get the aluminum to do this. It's pretty small. I'd say it's probably only 7x5, so they're gonna see if they can't find me some small chunks. So I'm gonna go down there and pick up some metal. I've ordered metal from them before. It's Metal Supermarkets in Colorado Springs. I don't know if you guys are in Colorado Springs, but they're super nice and super cool. They cut to size too, so if you just need a little bit, they'll cut it down for you. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the stuff out of the back of this, and we're gonna drive this thing down there to pick up the metal. This thing hooked up. I know it's super dead. Jump it anyways. I have to remember to bring the jumper pack with me. Let's get this back wheel started. See if I can remember to actually depress the gas like you're supposed to. I always forget that step. Starts way better when you remember to pump the gas. I always forget, so it sounds like it's gonna die when I first start it. That one started moving. Out of the way, and then start driving it down to go just letting her get to temp right now before I take it. I don't like to run my vehicles cold. I like them to get a little temperature in them. Sounds so sick, but you can hear the turn off. A few more steps away from getting it done. Getting that aluminum to build a box today, and then that aluminum pipe right there will get welded into it, and then I'll get a boot, this little boot on there, and then after that I can ride it around because it'll be getting boots into the motor, but I better not get too crazy until I get a wastegate and blow off valve on there. So I'll probably order those today, little boost control stuff. I'm thinking about maybe even putting a blow-off valve like right here, and then that way it just snaps real loud. Because I think I'm just gonna put a bass bar that comes across with a drift truck, so I don't mess anything up and mangle anything up, and then maybe like a little custom mesh drill out of some sheet metal. I'll figure it out, but I think I want the body to go from here all the way across, and I'll do that out of sheet metal, and then it'll just have a bass bar down here. But I'll do like a 6 mesh drill, like out of some, I don't know, hexagon mesh or something right there. I think that looks super cool. But I'm going to go ahead and get some that. Alright, so it's pretty loud in here, so I might not do nothing to this little drive video so you guys can see how it drives. It drives pretty good. Now I have it naturally aspirated right now. You can hear a little bit. I got to turn the music off so I don't get demonetized. But you can hear the turbo definitely when I'm getting on and off it. So it's hard because there's no power steering. So I'll try and get a video of what the turbo sounds like when it's fluttering off. All right, I'm gonna try and see if we can get a little turbo noise. block's welded up and boost going into the carburetor. I'm excited. All right, so we went and got our sheet metal. I just got 16th inch. I hope it's gonna be thick enough. It should be thick enough. I mean, it's only gonna see no more than 10, 15 pounds of boost at most after I still gotta go through the whole valve train, pistons, rods, main bearings. That'll be kind of part 2 of the build. I'm gonna enjoy it under boost a little bit, but she does make some questionable rattly noises. So I'm gonna start with like checking the valve lash after I get it all built. And if the valve lash is way off, then that might be what it is. But I don't know, we'll see. Could be the valve lash, or it could have a little bit of rod knock. The other thing I can do after I get the valve lash set and after I get the whole thing built is put like a little long screwdriver, or I have like a long, where is it at? I don't know where it's at. I got a long bar that I can put to each cylinder, basically just down by where the crank is. And if it's like piston slap or anything like that, or rod knock, then I should be able to hear it a lot more through there than up top, because I can kind of put one here, put one here, put one here, put one here, and see how it sounds. And if it's not in the top end, then I know it's most likely in the bottom end, and I can listen in the bottom end. But outside of that, I just got to get this popped off, so it's not completely free, or so it's completely free. I don't know where I've even been putting these lamps. Should be one of these. Might be this one. I don't know what I did with the clamps. That's not good. Oops, knocked stuff over. But yeah, I gotta put these in a safe spot. Oh, I guess I'm not gonna need them anymore. What a dork. Because I'm building an air box. I'm not quite sure what the real name is for it. That little box I'm about to build, but I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys. So those are those 4 bolts I was talking about. So I'm gonna take this plate off, trace it on that sheet metal, and then we'll go from there. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get these bolts popped off real quick. Let's see what size they are. 7/16, maybe. I think they are 7/16. They're a little too tight to this wall to be able to get them on. Oh. So I'm gonna have to use the old crescent wrench. Get these pop free. No, you're fine, buddy. Tracks, no, it's enough. Cool, so that's it looks like it has a gasket. That's cool. So I'll probably just reuse that gasket unless I'm changing it out. Cool. I'm just gonna go ahead and I got my template now, so I'm gonna trace this inside so it'll actually slide over that. Get the size of this. I might make it a little longer. I don't see any reason why it would hit anything, so I might make it like, I don't know, 2 inches wider total. I still want it to look clean. Yeah, because it's like 7, so if I made it 9, so if I made it 9 inches, that would look okay. Maybe that's what I'll do. I think I'm gonna either make it 8 or 9. Give it a little bit more airspace. Might do 9. 9 by 5. I can clear everything this way also. I don't want to mess with that too much. So we're gonna go 9 by 7. Yeah, I think we're gonna go 9 by 7 for the plate. I have extra metal. Way extra metal. I don't know if I can even see back there. I got a 4x4 sheet, so if I mess up a few times, it should be okay. I'm gonna go ahead and get the tripod set up for a time lapse for getting that little sheet metal cut out. I'm gonna trace it all out using that as my template. I'm gonna put these bolts here so I don't forget. So yeah, I'm gonna use that as my template and get this rolling.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Alright, so I got all my pieces cut out. I got that traced out. I'm gonna go ahead and stack these on top of each other when I drill the holes. That way they line up almost perfectly, or they do line up perfectly. So that's the plan for the top and the bottom. And I got the sides cut. So that'll go like that. And then one in the front. And then we got sides made too. So should be something like that. Obviously way better and square. But we're gonna do something like that. Those probably have to be on top because I cut them to the same size. So we'll drill those holes, get the little box made, and then we'll figure out where that tube is gonna kind of line up for the air box. And then we'll get that all welded out, and then we'll be ready to start getting some boost into the motor. I don't have those clamps yet, so I'll have to order those clamps. I'll probably just get it idling right, because it'll only just be pushing a little bit of air. I have a little cap on so I don't get aluminum in there. But just to get at least the idle and like the tip in, just for getting going. I'll probably have that fixed and ready. But until I start getting like boost control stuff, I'm not gonna be putting any boost to it because I don't want to blow it up. This turbo's been pushing really hard when I've just been driving it around. You can hear it spooling real hard. So I don't want the engine to see more than 3 to 5 pounds. So I'm definitely gonna wait until I get a wastegate with a spring. But still no leaks. I'll have to look. I saw a little oil drip from it being parked. I don't know if the oil pan's leaking and I need to tighten it up a little bit, or if the rear main seal. Hopefully not the rear main seal, because I did notice a lot of grease, or not grease, but oil on the transmission. So hopefully it's not the rear main seal.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Alright, so I got this little guy cut out. Both those holes line up. For the most part, I'll go get some bolts that are longer. Probably have to get some 5-inch bolts because I made the box 4.5 inches. So now that should go like that. This will end up going like that, 4.5 inches up. So I just got to make sure these holes line up that I drilled. And then I just have to weld the sides on. the sides of this guy. So I'm gonna go ahead and get it all tacked up and then weld it out.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Alright, so I got it all welded out. It's pretty hot right now, so I'm gonna let it cool off. I don't have any longer bolts to them. Oh, that's hot. I'm just gonna let it sit. I don't have any longer bolts to go ahead and put that guy on. Might need to smooth out that booger there. Other than that, I think it's completely welded out on the inside. So, just gotta bolt it on and figure out where it's gonna sit so I can get this length for this guy. Then this guy's gonna go and sit something like that. Something like that, and go into the little air box we made. So should be, I believe, like that. Might have to cut this back a little bit, but yeah, we'll make sure it goes in there. Alrighty, so I just went ahead and got just about measurement for here. I laid it the other way. It's kind of hard to do with one hand. And I matched the angle, laid the tape flat with there, and measured from this point to the top of there, and then from the bottom of there to the bottom of there. And that kind of gave me my length on what I need. The air box is all welded out. I just kind of did it off camera. I have a little 4 holes so I can bolt it down. I just need to go and get some probably 4.5, 5 inch, probably 5 inch little bolts so I can bolt that down. I measured, like I was saying, from the bottom of this to there, and it was like 9.5, 9.25. So it's like almost 9.25 to that tip, and then 11.25 to this tip. So I'm gonna cut straight as possible down that, and it should line up well with there. And then I should be able to kind of Sharpie it out, mark it out, and then get the hole cut out and weld that to that. And then that should be one less thing I gotta do.
Ladies and gentlemen.
So I think this is where I'm gonna call it today, guys. I'm pretty tired. But this should rest on there like that, and then I should be able to just do a little boot down there. I gotta go and get some 5-inch bolts to hold that down, and then I'll cut that out and weld it out. But that'll be tomorrow's job, and then she'll be ready to start making a little bit of boost, guys. Like I said, I'm not gonna really drive it until I get a wastegate and blow off valve. I really don't want to mess this thing up. It's been a long process getting it together. Not that long, probably only 2 weeks, but long enough to where I don't want to mess it up. So I'm gonna make sure I do it right the first time. Yeah, all right. So I didn't get the right size because they didn't have the right size. They only had like 6mm bolts. So I went and got 5-inch quarter 20s because I knew that they would have 5-inch quarter 20s. And I didn't even need the drill bit. I thought I was going to, because you're supposed to drill it with a 7/32, but that literally just takes the threads that are in there. Here, let's see if I can show you what I'm seeing. It literally would just like barely take the threads, maybe a little bit more. So I was seeing if I could just tap it with the tap, wherever I left that thing. I think it's right there. And I did on that one, just to see how it would go. And it actually went in really good. So that's how we're gonna secure that guy down. I just gotta tap the rest of these. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a time lapse going.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Alrighty, so I got these all tapped out. Luckily it's aluminum, so it wasn't too crazy hard. I'm not gonna use that tap to show you guys because it can cross thread it if I do that. Try chasing new threads, but yeah, as far as these guys go, you go right in, screw right out. Check all these real quick. Yo, nice. Heck yeah. Go all the way down, come all the way back up. That's cool. Heck yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this bolted on, the little boost box bolted on, and then that'll give me so I can trace this and know exactly where it's gonna go. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this on real fast.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Alrighty, so I got it all marked out. I kind of marked it just about where it was going to be the other day, and that's this scribbled out one. And then now that I got it actually bolted down, I have like my for sure one, and I got a 2.5-inch hole saw. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing hole sawed out. I'll try and match the top of this as much as possible. And then I'll probably have to use like a grinder or something to get that little teardrop shaped, because I did use a 45. Here's the other half of it. These used to actually go together like that. Hindsight, I probably could have cut this back to here and used more of the 45, but you live and you learn. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get the, leave the tripod set up, switch it over to a time lapse, and get this hole drilled out, and get this opened. But I'm not gonna do that on camera. All right, so I got the hole out. I was trying to use a hole saw like this, but this metal is way too thin. I'm denting it in on this side and pulling it out on this side, and I really don't want to mess with my perfectly square box that I made, especially since I tried so hard to make it square and now I'm messing it all up. But I'm gonna try and use my grinder and just grind out that last little lip, and then get this guy tacked on there like a show. Ooh, yeah, that's gonna butt up perfect. Get that butted on there, or welded on there, and then after it's welded on, it's pretty much good to go, guys. I'll put that boot on, and then trying to find my Sharpie. I'll put that boot on. Oh, I lost my Sharpie again. I'll put that boot on and we'll start it and see if we can't get it running good, because it's gonna try and run lean, just because the turbo's spooling just at idle. So it's gonna try and run a little lean. So I'm gonna try and richen out the idle and at least get that going after I get this all put together. So, because I still need 3-inch clamps for that guy. So even if I tried to build boost, it'd blow it off. I don't have a wastegate, and I really don't want to blow up this engine, so I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna try and wait. No promises. Do get a little excited sometimes and just kind of go for it. Nice, I'm gonna stay just to the inside of that new line. Perfect. Right on, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and get this finished off on some time lapse, and then start tacking it together.
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right, so I got it tacked up. I'm gonna have to clean my tungstens. I dipped pretty much all of them in the puddle, but I just wanted to get it tacked before I did anything. That's why it's all dirty. So I'm gonna go set this over here. Just make sure it lines up before I weld it out completely. So you guys couldn't see that because I was just fitting. But it's a little bit angled too far this way. So I'm going to try and move it. I got a pretty heavy tack on this back side, so I'm just gonna pull on it like that. Boom. I got that pretty much flush. I'm gonna split the difference so I don't have a huge gap to go back here. Probably somewhere in there. Keep it in, but you can move it. So there we go. Alright. If you guys can see over there or not. Alright, so my plan, I think, stuff likes to warp when you weld. I'm gonna go ahead and tack this side. Probably shouldn't have done that with gloves that have oil, but I'm gonna go ahead and tack this side and then weld out this side, and that'll help pull. It might bow this out a little bit, but that's okay. It's gonna help pull everything this way. And hopefully my tack doesn't break. So I'm gonna get switched to a time lapse. You guys didn't see any of that. That's funny. So right now it's angling a little too far that way. So I'm gonna tack it here and then weld it out on this side. and it's gonna pull everything to that side. As long as the tap doesn't break, it'll be good.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Alright, so that challenged me. These are my welds from that, from the edge. I know I didn't show them. It was on 16, so there's a few areas where I got a little hot, and I had to keep adding filler rod. And then this was a pain in the ass, just because the angle. But it did eventually get welded. Not my prettiest. That side's nicer than that side. The back side had a big old gap, so it got kind of ugly. But oh well, it's done. I'm gonna let it cool, and then I'm gonna clean it all up and get all the metal shavings out of there, and then get it bolted down for the final time on it there. I gotta get gaskets on the turbo, gaskets on the manifold. I don't know if I'll do that today. I might, I don't know. We'll see where this day takes us. All right, so we went ahead and got that welded out. Next, I got some of these little rubber washers to go behind or below the regular washers. So hopefully it'll seal and we won't get any vacuum leaks. So that's the idea. See how that idea actually pans out or not. We'll go ahead and switch to a time lapse though and get these screwed in and bolted down.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Alright, so we have everything hooked up. I'm gonna get everything out of the engine bay, make sure I don't have stuff in the engine bay that shouldn't be in there, like a wrench. I forgot to put one of the sealing washers, the little rubber ones, on, so I'm gonna have to take that guy out eventually. But got the boot on there, that all lined up good. I might have to clearance some stuff underneath here. I plan on getting a smaller battery anyways, so I might be able to clearance that more. Slide that battery in, maybe just cut that corner off, just so it'll clear better. I did pull this out more. I might be able to pull it out even more, just for a little bit more clearancing off of that guy, because it's kind of tight. If I gotta grind more, I will, which looks like that might be the case. But my excitement is taking over, so I'm going to set up the tripod and get this thing started. Might act funny having extra air now, so I cleaned out all the intercooler lines. All that should be good. Now this all got blown out while I was driving it to go pick stuff up yesterday, so I made sure to clean out this really well. So there's no metal shavings in there. So I think we're ready to see how she acts with a little bit of boost at idle. We're gonna see how she sounds. Alrighty, so my keys are in the ignition already, so that always helps. See how this goes. Give it one pump of fuel, neutral. It actually doesn't sound bad. Maybe it likes the extra air. I thought for sure it'd try to die. It seems like it's actually okay. That's wild. Definitely sounds a little deeper getting air from the turbo, but the idle might be a little higher too, I've noticed. But yeah, she's running. Don't feel no air coming out of here, so it should be sealed up pretty good. That's the fan, I'm not getting close to that. Yeah, none of these are leaking. Obviously, if it gets boost, it's gonna blow that off. But yeah, this is fine. Everything's sounding good. Ooh, this is a little too early for that. This is carbureted, so if I pop the carburetor too soon, it goes into medium idle mode instead of high idle mode. It's carbureted life. I was just seeing how it's gonna sound. Honestly, not running too bad with how everything's set up. I am gonna set the tripod up and watch the exhaust to see if it's rich or lean, but it sounds good. She might be going a little lean, but she's definitely getting boost. Has way more power than it did yesterday. A little bit more turbo noises too on diesel. Sorry for me moving the camera. I have to drive stick, so be patient with me. Try not to get on it too hard because I don't want it to go lean. But she definitely has more power than she did the other day. I can't wait to get a boost gauge and get everything running right, but it's definitely peppier. See if I can get one more first to third for you guys. Ooh. It smells way better too, like it's cleaning the like it's burning the fuel better. It's definitely running a little cleaner. Get on it too hard. I don't want to blow this thing up. Tried to get on it, they didn't like that. So we're not going to do that without having an AFR gauge and a boost gauge, because I really don't want to blow this little thing up. She's definitely got way more power.